Good morning. Coming up here on GMA on a Tuesday morning, the relentless heat still alerts all across the nation. More than 72 million Americans are seeing stretches that have never been seen before, just crushing those consecutive heat records. And Canada now at 850% of their normal wildfire activity, and we're seeing it in our skies and dangerous air quality. Also, new details on the suspected serial killer on Long Island. Authorities are saying that they've gathered a mountain of evidence. We're also learning more about how police say they tracked him down. And Deborah Roberts talks with the cast of Barbie, one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. It's also the start of our 3-day Deals and Steals event. And wait till you see who's helping us out. That and so much more on GMA.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
Welcome to Barbie Land, the home of Barbie in her rainbow of shapes and forms, and Ken too. Margot Robbie takes the lead as the stereotypical doll, but in this movie, she's so much more.
This is the best day ever. It is the best day ever.
Barbie and her pals are enjoying a typical dance party when...
You guys ever think about dying?
From there, her perfect life starts to fall apart.
My heels are on the ground.
She kind of hits all the notes that you'd ever want to hit as an actor. Like, there's very high highs and very low lows, and there's big physical comedy, and there's really heartfelt, profound moments.
What are you doing here?
I'm coming with you.
As a father, Ryan Gosling found taking on the role of Ken serendipitous.
It all landed in my house at the same time, the script, Barbies in general, and, you know, it's just all so true. It's brilliant.
Oscar-nominated writer and director Greta Gerwig says her film has a message for everyone.
And I wanted to make a movie that said, no, you're worthy just as you are.
In Hollywood, I'm Alicia Stanford.
Back here home, the oldest and largest licensed nonprofit that accepts and repurposes medical equipment is gearing up for its citywide donation drive. On Thursday, KSAT community partners are coming together for Project Men. KSAT will host a phone bank to collect financial donations to buy more wheelchairs, which is the most requested and needed piece of medical equipment. For more information, check out ksatcommunity.com. Still ahead in the next hour of Good Morning San Antonio, the body of a missing fisherman has been found in the San Antonio River. Look at what happened Monday and what we've just learned in the overnight hours. Plus, a child getting lost can be a terrifying situation, but a new viral trend is helping families find kids in minutes. How that works, still ahead. And up next, an overnight fire forces over a dozen apartment residents to evacuate. What we know so far about any injuries. And TransGuide is back this morning, looking good out there. The sun is trying to come up. Some flashing lights at 35 at New Braunfels Avenue. We'll talk to Stephen coming up. This morning on GMSA, a man fighting for his life in the hospital after a violent carjacking on the city's southwest side. What we've been able to learn this morning from police. Plus,
some of the searches that we saw that he was doing is alarming. It's a very good thing that we got this animal off the streets.
Days after a suspected serial killer was arrested in New York, police in the Pacific Northwest are uncovering another possible serial killer targeting several women in Oregon.
the sun is trying to come up over South Texas here at the top of the hour. 78 degrees out at San Antonio International Airport.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Time to rise and shine with us. Good morning, everybody. It is 6 a.m. on your Tuesday, July 18th.
Thanks for joining us. Maybe another day for some iced coffee. It's, not too hot right now, but we're expecting to get to 104 again today.
Ouch. Mike Osterhage is here with more on that, shaking his head. Yep. Doesn't even need to say another word, really.
Nope. Hit 104 yesterday, today, tomorrow. Today's going to tie the record of 104, and each and every day this week will be close to the respective records on the given day. The nice thing, though, like yesterday afternoon, at least the humidity dropped down in the afternoon. That's going to be the case again today. So it's not going to be like we've got that just outrageously high heat index to deal with. Still going to be awfully darn hot, but a little more tolerable in the shade. 78 degrees as of right now, 79 Canyon Lake, and mid 70s in portions of the hill country. Again, enough humidity out there this morning. It has come up overnight, as is usually the case, and then it's going through that cycle. At least it does mix out as we describe it by later on this afternoon. Mold is on the low side. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour and and a half or so. And throughout the rest of today, 93 at noon, 104 high temperature today. Like I said, that is going to tie the record. We also have heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in effect. The excessive heat warning right along the I-35 corridor and also heading out to the west in toward Uvalde County. This is in effect up until 9 o'clock tonight. Haven't seen any indications yet that it's going to be extended through tomorrow, despite the fact we're going to have the same high temperature tomorrow. We're also still looking at that very small chance, that little glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel, that very small chance for a couple of showers later on in the weekend. Details on that in just a couple of minutes. Hitting the roads right now, Traffic Authority, the man at the steering wheel. Steven, what's going on?
Both hands, Mike. Let's get a look here at 35 at New Braunfels. We saw some flashing lights there as we went to commercial break. This was actually a place where we had a stalled bus reported. Now it looks like that is cleared out and traffic along 35 is looking pretty normal, busy, but not too bad. As we get you to that shot here from our map, 35 southbound at North Walters is where that stalled bus was being reported. We're going to clear that from our map, and what we can expect right now is some smooth sailing traffic. But in the last few moments, this incident just popped up near China Grove. You see it right there on our map. Looks like a crash somewhere off of US 87. We'll get a closer look at that and find out if our friends at TransGuide have any cameras out there that can show us the conditions, but let's hope everyone is doing okay. Travel time should be okay, or I should say pleasant from Pleasanton along 37 northbound. We expect about 31 minutes right here to the Alamo City. US 90 is the perfect time to head out the door. 30 minutes is what you can expect if you're heading in from Castroville, and the arrival from Lytle should be within about 17 minutes along I-35 northbound. Back here again, things are looking a lot better at 35 at New Braunfels. We'll keep an eye on the roadways, and we'll find out what's going on along US 87, and I'll have an update on that coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Mark.
Thank you, sir. San Antonio police searching for two men who they say took the money and ran.
They broke into an ATM this morning on Marbuck Road near Hunt Lane. Katrina Weber is there live.
And Katrina, good morning to you. From what we're hearing, it looks like the thieves left a mess behind.
Well, good morning. Yeah, they definitely made a mess of the machine. Now, it's a little tough to see all of the damage from this vantage point here across the street, but there is a lot of damage to that ATM. There are also pieces of it here in the street, including the front door. That's why police have that lane blocked off. Now, they believe that someone did break into this. They started getting calls right before 5 o'clock this morning about two men who had attached a chain to a truck and then yanked the front off of this ATM. Now, police found the truck just a few streets away over on Garden Brook, and it appears, they say,
And we are having some technical issues. We will check back with Katrina. New this morning, the search is on for two suspects after a man was shot overnight on the southwest side of town. This happened just before midnight on New Laredo Highway. That's not far from Quintana Road and Pearsall Park. Police tell us that the victim was parked on the side of the road with his hazard lights on. That's when the suspect pulled up, shot him, and took off. We are told a second suspect took off in his car. People nearby saw him bleeding and called for help. The search continues for the suspects.
Also new this morning, 14 people forced out of their apartments overnight after a fire on the northeast side. This happened around 10:30 last night at the Iron Horse Valley Apartments on 410, not far from Starcrest Drive. Crews found a fire in the attic. Everyone got out safely, including an elderly woman who was helped out of her apartment on a stretcher. Right now, it's unclear what sparked that fire.
A New Braunfels man was arrested after being accused of trying to hire a hitman to kill a Comal County Sheriff's deputy. That is according to federal court documents. Those documents say that 33-year-old Dylan Scott Dees approached a man at a job site in Bexar County back on June 26th and asked him if he knew someone who could, quote, carry out a murder for compensation. Now, Dees did not know that the man he approached was an informant with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. In federal documents, it says that Dees told the informant that the deputy was his ex-father-in-law, who he blamed for unresolved child custody issues involving his ex-wife that he would report to law enforcement. Dees was arrested on July 6th and is being held without bond. If found guilty, he faces up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Topping your morning headlines, just days after a suspected serial killer was arrested in New York, there's a growing mystery in the Pacific Northwest. As
ABC's Lionel Moise reports, police in Oregon believe another serial killer could be responsible for the deaths of several women.
This morning, a major development in the investigation into the deaths of several women in Oregon.
Everybody's kind of taking a deep breath now.
Just 1 month after police suggested the mysterious deaths of 6 women were not connected, officials now say they believe at least 4 killings are connected. The victims' bodies were found in wooded and rural areas between February and May. 9 agencies took part in the investigation, leading them to a person of interest, but officials have not announced the name of that person or how they determined the deaths are connected. ABC affiliate KATU reports the person of interest was already in custody, a relief for families of the women.
People get hurt, killed, or whatever, but you know, it's not me. You know, you don't. And then when it hits you, it's like, wow, it's different.
Nearly 3,000 miles away, new clues in the Gilgo Beach serial killings on New York's Long Island.
We hope to find anything and everything.
Police searching storage units and the home of Rex Hire-a-hitman, combing through what they call a literal mountain of evidence, including $250,000 worth of guns, more than 200 firearms they say were found in his basement, double what he had legally registered.
We wanted to take him into custody somewhere outside of the house because of access to those weapons.
Police describe his online activity as disturbing.
Some of the searches that we saw that he was doing is alarming. It's a very good thing that we got this animal off the streets.
The 59-year-old architect and married father is accused of killing at least 3 women in late 2010. The victims were all petite, in their 20s, and sex workers. Hire-a-hitman's lawyer dismissing the allegation, saying there is nothing that would suggest that he is involved in these incidents.
Hire-a-hitman is also being called the prime suspect in the death of a 4th woman. He's pleaded not guilty in the other cases and is due in court next month. As for the Oregon killings, that person of interest has not been charged. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
The border in a story we're hoping to learn more about later this morning. State troopers were reportedly told to push migrants back into the water and ordered to deny them drinking water. Texas Department of Public Safety shared an email from a trooper medic to a supervisor. The trooper wrote that they, quote, were given orders to push the people back into the water to go to Mexico, end quote, and were also ordered not to give migrants water. When asked about the situation, a Department of Public Safety spokesperson said the Office of the Inspector General is investigating the incident.
This morning, experts are warning of an insurance crisis in several states, and it's all because of the extreme weather that's becoming deadly. More insurance companies are pulling out of states deemed a high climate risk. AAA and Farmers Insurance are the latest companies to pull out of Florida, and State Farm and Allstate have stopped accepting new home insurance policies in California due to the wildfires. As natural disasters get more expensive, experts say insurance premiums will increase, and they say home buyers should take signals from the insurance companies.
Think of Florida, Arizona, Louisiana as being popular retirement destinations, and those destinations just got a bit costlier to move to because of rising insurance costs. Households need to take some signal from the choices that these private insurers are making and recognize that it's now going to be more expensive to live in risky areas.
At least 20 insurance companies have also pulled out of Louisiana in the past 2 years. Some lawmakers are calling for a federal response to help homeowners.
Looking ahead, the impeachment trial of Attorney General Ken Paxton is expected to start on September 5th, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has banned all the people involved in the trial from speaking about it publicly. He issued a gag order that affects all members of the court, House members, witnesses, and attorneys involved in the case. Patrick will act as the judge in the trial, and the 31 state senators will act as jury. If 20 senators vote to uphold any of the articles of impeachment, Paxton gets removed from office. Right now, 6:11, 78 degrees.
And here's a look at what's coming up next on GMSA.
We've just been in awe so often, and just being so happy to be a part of this amazing, beautiful, exciting life of hers.
A beloved teacher in the San Antonio community, being remembered for her love of music. After the break, her impact on mariachi music education.
Outside with live cam, 78 degrees as we take a look at San Antonio International Airport. Just a hint of that sunrise as we look off more towards the north on your early Tuesday morning. We'll talk to Stephen and Mike coming up. 6:15, a San Antonio educator and music icon is being remembered and honored for generational contributions to mariachi music.
Belle Ortiz died at the age of 90, surrounded by family, love, and music. There's an altar set up in her honor at Mi Tierra downtown. Her family says she was serenaded by many musicians in her last days. Ortiz trailblazed mariachi music education at Lanier High School in San Antonio Independent School District, and that program spread. Her family says her contributions reached beyond the world, and she collaborated with many famous artists and played in front of U.S. presidents. Her family says they are overwhelmed by how much Ortiz means to so many.
It's been overwhelming to see the emails, the texts, the phone calls from all around the country, reinforcing that she was so special to so many people.
People that we don't even know that are just loving on us and sending prayers and support. And so we're very grateful for that.
Now, her funeral is set for August 8th at Grace Point Church. Her family is expecting music to be a big part of her life celebration.
Time to check traffic.
That's right. Let's check in with Stephen Cavazos.
It's not been a bad morning over here, but things have definitely been moving at 410 at WW. Let's show you what you can expect as your Tuesday morning does get moving. 281 at Sprucewood North and southbound lanes don't look bad, but looks like we have a nice little sunrise popping up at 37. Here, Southeast Military, you can see a lot more folks have decided to wake up early, hit the roadways. Probably going to go to grab that cup of iced coffee as Steph recommended. But let's get a look here at our map, and really the story of the morning have been some of those stalled vehicles and the construction as well. We have a new stall that's popped up along US 90. You see it right there on your map. Looks like it's just within Loop 410. I'll get a closer look at that, find out which direction that's headed in, because a lot of folks are making their way in from Castroville this early in the morning. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, be on the lookout here along Northwest Military Highway. As a reminder, we have that curb and sidewalk installation. This does start around 7 this morning and should wrap at 6 in the evening. Wraps up Friday, July 21st, and during that time, we're going to see alternating lane closures from Loop 1604 to Hebner Road. Lots of work happening in and around the Alamo City. Scan the QR code, takes you to our traffic page. We have a full list of all the traffic closures that are happening in and around the area. There's a lot going on, and a lot of the work actually has been taking place overnight. I've noticed that. The big one, of course, last weekend was the 1604 North Expansion Project. That wrapped up pretty early, thankfully. But we have a lot more stuff happening and a lot of overnight stuff that may still be lingering around.
Not surprised. That's probably smart to do as much as possible in the overnight hours.
Right. Not only because of traffic, but because of the extreme heat. I'm sure the crews are better off that way.
And the St. Mary's update, they were doing the crosswalks again this morning.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're nice brick crosswalks and everything.
We're going to send you down there live one morning to do kind of an update and the forecast. Is that okay?
I should just, well, no, I shouldn't. I was going to say video while I'm driving through there, but no.
Go out there.
No, yeah, no. That's a no.
Mike out there in his robe. Guys.
I can see that. I like that. Anyway, here's another one of those pictures. Vibe. Just because. Beautiful shot of the monarch butterflies there. It's a gorgeous picture. Thank you very much for that one. Really appreciate that. All right, don't forget to send in all those KSAT Connect pictures if you have something about the weather or one of those just because. What do you look at? Yeah, okay, thank you, Mark. So he's giving me a thumbs up there. I don't know. Anyway, we got a little bit of a haze out there this morning, and 6 to 10 days Climate Prediction Center outlook. Once again, it's not pretty much a push right now. Pretty much even odds of having normal precipitation here in town. Maybe a little bit better chance off to the east of us. But during that same time period, we do have still hot temperatures. We are going to be staying, or at least the odds are going into the latter part of the month to stay on the hot side. And then same thing as we go into the very first day of August. It's pretty much a 50-50 chance of having normal precipitation around here, but again, staying definitely on the hot side, even going into the first couple of days of August. And again, the reason for this is that high, that's the one sitting right on top of us, basically, and just dominating the south and southwestern almost half of the country around here in northern Mexico. And that thing is going to be staying in place the next couple of days. So same thing as yesterday, 104 yesterday, 104 today, tomorrow. Today we tie the record with that. Then as we go into the latter part of the week, It starts to edge back off further to the west and kind of build back up to the northwest of us. So what that's going to do is get us into this northwesterly flow, and that means there can be those little disturbances sliding on in here, which would give us that chance for some rain. Even though this thing is still dominating, still keeping us hot. Also, by Monday, it's far enough away that it's going to sort of open up the door to the Gulf of Mexico, so we might see one or two of those stray sea breeze showers moving into the coastal plain by Monday. We'll make it up through the 80s the rest of the morning, noon 93. Again, tie the record of 104 later on today with plenty of sunshine around here. And here's the long-range computer models, a couple of extra clouds and maybe a shower late Saturday, but a slightly better chance for a stray shower or two on Sunday, and then one or two of them on Monday as well. But temperatures still stay in the triple digits all the way through the weekend and going into the first part of next week, although not as high, still very hot. The one saving grace is the fact that we do have lower humidity in the afternoon, so it's not going to be those ridiculous heat index readings. A little bit more comfortable in the shade.
Well, that's a plus. Thank you, Mike.
As Jeff said, it's been a fun, hot summer so far.
Right? Yay!
621, 78 degrees.
Coming up later on Good Morning America, millions of air travelers are facing delays and cancellations this summer. Now, a new phone scam for rebooking flights could also hurt your vacation plans. That's on GMA beginning at 7.
My husband and I have never been more active.
Shingles doesn't care.
I go to spin classes with my coworkers.
Good for you. Shingles doesn't care. Because no matter how healthy you feel, your risk of shingles sharply increases after age 50. But Shingrix protects. Proven over 90% effective, Shingrix is a vaccine used to prevent shingles in adults 50 years and older. Shingrix does not protect everyone and is not for those with severe allergic reactions to its ingredients or to a previous dose. An increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome was observed after getting Shingrix. Fainting can also happen. The most common side effects are pain, redness and swelling at the injection site, muscle pain, tiredness, headache, shivering, fever, and upset stomach. Shingles doesn't care, but Shingrix protects. Shingrix is now $0 for almost everyone. Ask your doctor about Shingrix today.
In your consumer headlines, updates to Facebook's video features. Meta says users will see a new video tab soon, formerly known as Facebook Watch. There are also improved editing tools and the ability to upload HDR video, making the platform more competitive with YouTube and TikTok.
Now, TikTok has added passkey authentication on iPhones. Users can log in using biometrics such as Face and Touch ID. The data will be kept on your device, meaning TikTok will not have access to it. The feature rolls out this month, but not in the U.S.
And YouTube has unveiled an easier way to speed up videos. The site is testing a feature that allows users to long press the screen to watch a video at twice the playback speed. That cuts down on the 4 steps it currently takes to adjust the speed. For now, the feature is only available to premium users.
And right now on KSAT.com, a Houston area grandmother hoping to inspire others to be creative learned a lesson about the power of the internet. So Roberta Wright shared photos of herself pulling a delicious looking loaf of bread from her mailbox. The post went viral with people using it as proof of just how hot it is in Texas. But it turns out you can't actually bake bread in your mailbox. That's because bread normally bakes at temperatures between 350 to 475 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can check out this story on our website at KSAT.com.
Wow. Most of us were pretty skeptical that she actually baked it in the mailbox,
but
right?
I mean, it feels about that way.
It does.
It really does.
It is oven hot many days this time of year. 626, 77 degrees.
We have a lot more heading your way in our next half hour, including some news stories trending right now on KSAT.com.
Quick look at the roads with TransGuide, our new favorite shot at 37 at the Alamodome, looking back towards the Tower of the Americas and some of the downtown buildings. Stephen Cavazos is standing by with an update with your Tuesday morning commute. We'll be right back. This morning on GMSA, the body of a missing fisherman has been found in the San Antonio River south of town. A look at what happened Monday and what we've learned overnight.
Plus, ERCOT says they might have reached an unofficial all-time record for energy demand across Texas. We're going to explain how the grid is holding up now.
And we know that AC is cranking away yet again this morning, but down to about 77 degrees as we take a look at San Antonio International Airport. Good morning, everybody. We jump right into our Tuesday. It is July 18th.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We know we're hitting the triple digits, but at least maybe we can ask the question, well, in the shade, will it be okay? Maybe we'll go ahead and ask Mike that.
Well, like yesterday, in the shade, it was okay because the humidity did drop down significantly in the afternoon. As a matter of fact, at one point, it actually felt a couple of degrees cooler than the air temperature, just because your body, when the air is that dry, your body can cool itself that much more efficiently. Right now, that's not the situation. The humidity has come back up, as it usually does in the overnight hours. We do have maybe 1 or 2 clouds out there over by the airport, and the temperature does stand at 78 degrees, still 3 above normal. Dew point 73, because this number had dropped down about 20 degrees lower by yesterday afternoon. It was down in the mid and even some lower 50s around here. Maybe not quite that low this afternoon, but still much lower humidity by the afternoon. Heat index 81, 76 Devine, Stinson, as well as Randolph. 83 is what it feels like there at Canyon Lake. Low amount of mold. Updated count comes out in about an hour or so. We do still have heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in effect up until 9 o'clock tonight, just because of those very hot temperatures out there. Going to be up to 104 today, just like yesterday, although today it will tie the record. Warm and humid this morning. 104, tie the record. Lower humidity this afternoon. Then tomorrow and Thursday, still very hot. 104 again tomorrow. Knock a degree off by Thursday. Going into the weekend then, high temperatures will ease a couple of more degrees. We'll be at 100 by Sunday, and also 1 or 2 showers out there on Sunday. Not a fantastic chance, but at least there is that chance for a couple of showers. Will that extend into next week? Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, what's going on the roads, Steve?
Not a whole lot over here, Mike. Thankfully, we just have some pretty nice camera shots from TransGuide. Let's get a wide look here at 37 at the Alamo Dome, or at Alamo Dome. This is a shot of Tower of the Americas, but you can see that camera there, not too far from the Alamo Dome, shows us a really good commute along 37 north and southbound, and you have a great view to go with it as well. But be on the lookout. As I mentioned this morning, we haven't spotted major issues, but stalls have been that trending trouble that we're seeing this Tuesday morning. US 90 eastbound at Military Drive. This is where we have the latest one reported. A lot of folks travel through those eastbound lanes, but thankfully it doesn't seem like we're catching any congestion just yet. We'll have to watch it closely, but if you see that stalled vehicle there in the next few minutes, be on the lookout, move over or slow down. Another stall may have popped up here along 35 if you're making your way in from Von Ormy, but other than that, I've not seen any other issues that are being reported. A lot of that scattered construction is always expected at this time. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the later on in the newscast, but right now looks like our Tuesday morning commute is off to a good start. We'll have another traffic update coming up a little bit later on. Steph.
Thank you, Stephen. 2 men, a truck, and a chain all worked together to defeat an ATM.
San Antonio police said those criminals were able to break open the bank machine and get away with the cash.
Katrina Weber is live where it all happened on Marbuck Road near Hunt Lane. And Katrina, have police found any clues?
Well, they may have a whole truckload of clues. They actually found the pickup they say was involved in this crime a few blocks away, and they're currently searching it for evidence. And what they found here is an ATM really in pieces. There are pieces here in the street. That's why police have this lane shut down. Those criminals were able to break into this ATM. Police got the call just before 5 o'clock this morning. They say that witnesses say they saw 2 men attach a chain to a truck and then yank the front off this ATM. And police say they succeeded where so many others have failed. They actually were able to get into the cash box and take off with what police described as a large amount of money. And we don't know how much. But again, they did recover the truck that they believe was involved. They say it was stolen, and apparently it had a company logo on it, so it was stolen from a company. Police say that they believe that the 2 men were able to get into another car that was following them, and that's how they got away. So far, they don't have much of a description of that car, and they have not tracked down those people or the cash that apparently was stolen from this ATM this morning. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Katrina. And to our top story this morning, we now know the name of the man who fell into the San Antonio River yesterday. This morning, the Bexar County Medical Examiner says police eventually recovered the body of 45-year-old Selvin Salgado. So this was a scene yesterday on River Road on the south side. Police tell us that Salgado and his son were fishing on the river when the dad slipped on the mud and fell into the water. Now his son tried to get him out of the river, but he couldn't. The dive team from the New Braunfels Fire Department was called in to help in the recovery efforts.
An 80-year-old carjacking victim that was attacked back in February has died from his injuries. Police say Larry Brister was attacked at the intersection of Walker Ranch and Stonewood Drive near Bitters Road. Brister's family told us he had multiple injuries, including broken ribs and a collapsed lung. Police arrested 3 boys, ages 15 to 16, in connection with the attack. They were initially charged with aggravated robbery, but now those charges, we could see more charges.
And we are learning more about 30-year-old Adrian San Martin. He is the man who was wielding a gun when he was shot by San Antonio police officers. Martin later died from his injuries. Now, police say San Martin ran from officers that tried to arrest him outside a hotel on I-35 back on Sunday. Chief William McManus says Martin took off towards a police vehicle with a gun in his hand, and that's when the officer in that vehicle got out and shot him. Life-saving measures were performed until EMS got there to take him to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The officer that shot and killed San Martin is Joseph Warren, and he has been with the San Antonio Police Department for 6 years. He is on administrative leave while the department continues to investigate.
Over at the Bexar County Courthouse, the court heard testimony about a gang rivalry that ended with a deadly drive-by in 2017 where a 4-year-old boy was killed. The sentencing hearing is expected to wrap up later today. Former gang member Charles Bethany took the stand in the sentencing hearing for Terrell Chase. In May, Chase was found guilty of a felon in possession of a firearm charge, but he and several others are charged with the murder of 4-year-old Derolvion Whitley. Chase is facing a maximum of 10 years for that felon in possession of a firearm charge. As for the murder charge, Chase and the other co-defendants have yet to stand trial.
An ERCOT weather watch through today makes it the second one issued in less than a month. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas says it has set an unofficial July and unofficial all-time peak record yesterday. It says it met the demand of 81,911 megawatts, and that breaks the previous unofficial July and ERCOT all-time peak of 81,406 megawatts that occurred back on July 13th. ERCOT says the records are unofficial until final settlements, which can take several days or longer. Even with this blistering Texas heat, energy experts say the grid is holding up well, thanks in part to other resources being used at the same time.
We have currently 3,000 megawatts of energy storage, so batteries that are on the system. That's new. We have 8,000 megawatts of batteries that are coming in the next year or year to 18 months. And so we're seeing energy storage and solar power really playing a much more dramatic role than they were playing even just a couple of short years ago.
Now, Texans can monitor real-time and extended grid conditions on ERCOT's website. That's ERCOT.com.
New this morning on KSAT.com, several creeks that weave through San Antonio's west side will soon be restored and enhanced. It's all part of a long-awaited West Side Creeks ecosystem restoration project, something that's been in the works for over a decade. The San Antonio River Authority wants to hear from you during a series of community meetings. We have all the details on our homepage.
Also on our website, a story from the San Antonio Business Journal. A movie theater that opened in 1943 in downtown Castroville has reopened once again. The Rainbow Theater has undergone an extensive renovation, and community leaders came together to make it happen. You can read more about both these stories on our website at ksat.com.
6:30, just about 6:39, 77 degrees.
And just ahead, losing a child can be terrifying, but a new viral trend is helping families find kids in minutes. How it works in just moments.
Time now 6:42. Over 2,000 children vanish every day here in the U.S. for all types of reasons.
Whether it's over a few days or for less than 5 minutes, the terror that sets in for parents can be traumatizing.
However, Leslie Hudson tells us a trend that's going viral on social media is reuniting lost kids with their parents in just a few minutes.
Frankie! It's every parent's worst nightmare. Frankie! It can happen at the playground, crowded shopping center, or even your neighborhood street. You turn away for 1 second and your child is nowhere to be found.
My grandson at a theme park.
Is he in harm's way, basically? That's pretty much what went through my head.
But a new method called looking loudly is helping to find kids in minutes. Looking loudly works by yelling out their description.
I'm looking for a boy, age 5, brown hair, brown eyes, Caucasian, red Nike t-shirt, black shorts, black shoes.
Having other parents yell out the same thing can work like a PA system, spreading the information even faster. It worked for this mom who lost her daughter in a play place.
Another mom actually found her for me and found her way faster than if I had done what I normally would have done.
Also, whenever going to large spaces with a lot of people, take a quick photo of your child. And don't forget to show the shoes. Teach your toddlers your phone number. If they're unable to remember it, place a piece of paper with your contact information in their pocket or attach it to an easily accessible place on their clothing. Also, dress your child in bright colors so they are easy to spot in a crowd. I'm Leslie Hudson reporting.
6:44.
Let's check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
You know, guys, we saw some flashing lights at 35 at Zarzamora. There was a stalled vehicle that was being reported. I mentioned it earlier. Looks like that may have cleared out. Now we have a shot at 35 at Division, and you can see the north and southbound lanes are a bit busier with traffic. But be on the lookout. As I mentioned, stalls have been the trending problem of the morning. Here's a stall I mentioned earlier, 35 southbound at Zarzamora. There was not really a delay that was being caused because of that. But be on the lookout again as we move you over here to US 90, where we had a stall reported along US 90 eastbound at Military Drive. Looks like that may have cleared out. Wide view of the map doesn't really show any of the congestion creeping in, but the TransGuide cameras are clearly showing the commute is picking up. So there's 35 at Division, but let's show you what else is happening around town. 10 at Hildebrand, not a bad shot, and 35 north at Loop 410. We are seeing some of the roads pick up. Other spots of town are looking a little pixelated, like 35 at Space Center. But I've been keeping a close eye on things, and I'm happy to have our TransGuide cameras back because we can show you the conditions, even though they're a little bit pixelated out there. We'll have more updates on what's happening out on the road. Wow, I think I jinxed myself. Yeah, I was just so excited to have them back. But we do have our cameras that are working.
Yes.
Sometimes these things happen.
I see it right there.
Yeah, we have things to look at now.
Yes.
Did your mother ever tell you if you don't have something nice to say about somebody, don't say anything at all?
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
I heard that a lot.
Well, here's a variation of it.
Okay. Dear weatherman, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow.
That's
tell a weatherman not
Austin, right?
Yeah, that's from Austin, Texas.
Yep.
I was going to say, tell a weatherman not to talk. Anyway, we do have nice things to say. The humidity is going to be lowered later on this afternoon. Does that qualify?
Yes, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good now.
Very much. So, all right. Here's now I got all talking about that. And my computer's done. Come on.
We love this sign so much.
Spacebar through there. Yeah. Did I not start the show? Anyway,
there you go.
Thank you very much. All right, we got a couple of clouds hanging around here right now, and we've got temperatures out there at the airport that are right around the upper 70s. We're going to be warming up through the 80s throughout the course of the morning, and then by noon, getting up to 93 degrees. Lots of sunshine out there, and as the day rolls on, temperature, the dew points, the humidity in the atmosphere is going to start to drop down a little bit. So, yes, we will make it up to 104 today. That's going to tie the record today. But again, with that lower humidity, like yesterday, it is going to be somewhat more comfortable in the shadows. So, dew point temperatures over the next few days, at least in the afternoons, they're not going to be outrageously high. So, upper 50s, maybe low 60s. Unlike in the mornings when it's going to be up where it is right now, upper 60s and low 70s around here. So at least it will be somewhat comfortable in the afternoons. Going into the weekend, that's when we start to see these minor changes in the overall pattern. So a couple of extra clouds around on Saturday, maybe a sprinkle late Saturday night. But then you go into Sunday, and especially later on in the afternoon, we are going to start to see at least the chance for some rain. Now, this obviously likes to paint things in with a broad brush around here, but there will be that shot for some rain because we get some minor fluctuations in the overall weather pattern. And then going into Monday, the Gulf kind of opens up a little bit, or at least the door to the Gulf opens up. So some of those sea breeze showers are going to try to work their way on in here. And at least that small chance of rain will exist. Very small is the operative word, but it is around there. And the reason for it is that high, which is basically right on top of us, is dominating the southwestern portion of the country. And over the next couple of days, this thing just does not move at all. But it will eventually start to work its way a little bit further off to the west, a little bit further off to the northwest. Clockwise rotation, you get that northwesterly flow, little disturbances slide down on that. That's why you get a chance for some rain. And then again, by late in the weekend, that's when kind of the door it moves far enough away to allow some of those sea breeze showers to work their way on in here going into the first part of next week. But it's still pretty much going to be dominating as far as temperatures. It won't be as hot as today, but it's still going to be on the hot side. So here's what it looks like over the next 7 days. Just crank on that space bar over there. Oh, look, there's Mark. I thought I had the wrong thing punched up for a second. So,
I was watching you, watching me, trying to do the show.
Caught you in action.
What did I do wrong? I don't know why. Oh, well,
All
sometimes clickers just don't work.
It's all good. I got you covered.
All right. 104 today, tomorrow. Ties the record today, and that small chance of rain on Sunday.
I wondered why they moved the camera.
They were being sneaky.
Yes,
Who is that directing there, Robert?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
649, 77 degrees.
And tomorrow on GMS8, important news if you take prescription medications. What experts tell us about how the food you eat could impact them.
Outside with live cam on your Tuesday. You're watching GMSA.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA on a Tuesday morning, the relentless heat still alerts all across the nation. More than 72 million Americans are seeing stretches that have never been seen before, just crushing those consecutive heat records. And Canada now at 850% of their normal wildfire activity, and we're seeing it in our skies and dangerous air quality. Also, new details on the suspected serial killer on Long Island. Authorities are saying that they've gathered a mountain of evidence. We're also learning more about how police say they tracked him down. And Deborah Roberts talks with the cast of Barbie, one of the most anticipated movies of the summer. It's also the start of our 3-day Deals and Steals event. And wait till you see who's helping us out. That and so much more on GMA.
And the oldest and largest licensed nonprofit that accepts and repurposes medical equipment is gearing up for its annual citywide donation drive. On Thursday, KSAT community partners are coming together for Project Men. So KSAT will host a phone bank to collect financial donations to buy more wheelchairs, which is the most requested and needed piece of medical equipment.
Phone banks going on from noon to 2 p.m. and from 5 until 10:30. This will be taking place ahead of the equipment donation drive taking place Saturday the 22nd at Wonderland of the Americas Mall. For more information, go to ksatcommunity.com. Thousands of families in our community depend on the San Antonio Food Bank to survive.
And right now the bank says their volunteers are packing thousands of meals a day for those in need, and that kids are the ones that need the most help. The food bank is about halfway to their goal of making 20 million total meals this summer, and the need for food for those kids just increases when they're not in school.
Well, a little less than 2 minutes left in our newscast.
Let's go ahead and check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
It's been a decent morning over here, guys. As we get a look around town, 1604 at Spurs Ranch and there at 1604 at Marbach, you're not catching a lot of traffic, but you may see a lot of pavement in some of these TransGuide cameras, especially out here along 1604. Medeo Creek, you can't really see a lot going on, but our commute is getting busier. We've entered morning rush. A lot more people waking up. They've had their cup of coffee, and they're getting ready to hit the roads. We saw some stalled vehicles out there this morning. 35 southbound at Zarzamora was our latest, and it looks like it's already cleared out. But as we give you a wide view of our map now, a lot of that congestion is going to creep in. You see it along State Highway 151 if you're heading east to the downtown area, and of course Loop 1604 on the northwest side. But again, just take it easy this morning. There's not really any reason to rush. I will continue to track the roads very closely throughout Good Morning America, but you got to also track that heat, right, Mike?
Oh, yes, indeed. And got a few clouds hanging around here this morning. Temperature is in the mid and upper 70s around the area. Add a few degrees to that with the humidity. We've got that morning humidity, but that will be dropping down by later on today. 93 at noon. 104 is going to tie the record today. We hit 104 yesterday as well. And with the lower humidity in the afternoon, we're not going to have those outrageous heat index readings. It won't feel that much above the actual air temperature. We still have heat advisories, excessive heat warnings in effect through 9 o'clock tonight. And then 104 again tomorrow. Temperatures go down a degree or so going into the latter part of the week. And a couple of showers going to be possible later in the weekend, maybe starting off the first part of next week.
Woohoo, just 100 by the end of the week.
Big cold snap, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it. Thank you, Mike.
Go out there and make it a great day.